Hello and welcome. It's World Building Wednesday. Hello, everybody. Suffering from success, the hype chat is covering the first chatter. Incredibly unfortunate. Element? Element was the first chatter? Hello, Element. PMC, Zeba01, Cancer, Lurker. Star-Lord, Dr. Jund. Apers, for one, first time chatter, welcome. Anubis. Ruffian. Hello, Blood. Cody. Dragon. How you all doing today? I apologize. A little low energy. My foot has been hurting me something fierce. So my sleep last night was a little interrupted, where I would shift or roll around in my bed and send a spike of pain up my. So I didn't get that much sleep. So I've been in a sort of weird low mood, and I do apologize. EMC, thank you very much for the 21 months. God. Incredibly kind of you, brother. I'm now 21. Soon you'll get your 2-year badge, 2-year crown. You'll get your lovely 2-year crown and get to wear it with all that glory. So thanks for sticking around for so goddamn long. I appreciate it. 21 months is 01. Thank you very much for the 20 months. Also, equally insane. You folks are absurd, sticking around for so goddamn long. I really do. 01. Thank you so much for 20 months. Hugs to you too, bro. Major Star-Lord, thank you very much for the 11 months. Major Star-Lord, soon you'll have your 1 year. 3 stars that adorn it. I hope you look forward to seeing it, bro. Debus, thank you so much for 19 being my Izzle. Oh, for some reason, I thought you had the first badge. Oh, you get to actually see the crown. Nice. Oh yeah, 21 months. Dork. Got me to so I've been transcribing my playable races to that lately. Hell yeah, bro. I love Kanka. I really need to go and update it. I've just been doing all my stuff in Foundry. I have to like physically remind myself that not everything can be in Foundry. I have to go upload it to the proper websites. Just takes a lot of reminders because I'm so accustomed to doing all of my notes in Foundry. Especially with the most recent like journal updates for version 10. Ugh, it's been amazing. Hydrate very well. Got some ice cold of water. I saw the message. I'm sure you've heard a ton of squealing from Momo during. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I was also watching for a fair bit too. I was watching for a fair bit in her, seeing her play it, exploring like the Temple of Selene and stuff like that. I had an idea earlier today, which is why I was working on those. Working on some of the icons, which are like the more primal aspects of the world. These entities that are powerful enough to have been manipulated or sort of influenced by the primeval current, or were created by other divine beings, like the Volinar or the air. So yeah, that's what we were working on. Made Garasa, the Silent Decay, also known as Star Eater, and they're pretty dope. They're often associated with acid, death, decay, plague, and shadows. They're worshipped by the cult of the dragon. And they are an evil entity. They are responsible for the destruction of Thorlin, the Silver Flame, which is one of the stars gifted to man by the Allfather. It's plucked from the night sky and planted into the earth, create a beautiful tree, and Garasa destroyed that. Well, wrapped itself around Thorlin, a Hamet that destroyed Thorlin for the safety of the rest of the realm. Who made the Aberrants? Technically, the Aberrants always exist. The Aberrants have always been around. I basically always chalked the Abyss or Void as being one of the first things. And when the Allfather made Aetus, that same act of creating life also created basically the fucked up shadows of creation. Opposite, so to speak. So the Aberrants were a byproduct. Try again. Can't wait until Crown gets into VC so I can shitpost. Ooh, brother. Very low energy today, I'm afraid. Sounds like you're cutting out a lot when you speak softly. Yeah, that's probably very true. I'm very tired. Here's a blankie. Thank you. I'll wrap that around my. Maybe that'll help. I can sit in my chair like a grandpa. I think you remember mentioning the Allfather's brother? Not a brother, but is something as a result. When the Allfather came about, a Lormanir the Voidborn was also there, present. Hello, Sensei. I got checkers for you. You can play down at the local Cracker Barrel. Finally. I want to make a terrace. And I'm tired of pretending I don't. I want a terrace primal now. I want to make a Tarrasque that's cool. All right, you die first. Eldrin VTuber model? I don't know. I don't think I would make. I mean, I love Veldrin. Veldrin's great. But I don't know if I'd make a V. I think if I was gonna make a VTube model, I'd want to be a bear. Feel it in my soul. I recommend the other spawn of Rovago. Pathfinder. I can see him as a V2 model, always talking and swinging his cloak back and forth like a vampire. Very cute. I do like that. I just think bears are neat. They're so dangerous. Why are they friendship? Shot out it is. I think the high today was like 101. Gross. Baron, welcome. We're currently building Icon. I'm being a tired bitch. I want him to be more like. I guess I want a Godzilla-like. I want an entity that opens its mouth and the spines on its back glow. It then unleashes like a Nova Beam. Like it does Omega Flare. Center of the city. Center of the city ceases to be. And it just every turn it casts Omega Flare. Or is it Zenith? What's the strongest flare? Zeta? Is it Zeta Flare? I basically want it to open its mouth. I want it to be some fucking anime moment. All the energy being drawn into this small little dot of power until it eventually becomes so massive it looks like a second sun, and then it fires it. It's the only thing left standing. So I want it to be a force of nature. I want it to be cataclysmic like it should be. Yes, I do want kaiju. I do want that. I want scene out of Final Fantasy 16 where it's Odin and Bahamut fighting over a fucking army, or over two armies clashing. I want these gargantuan entities, these Titan-like creatures fighting over the world. That's what I want. Are there kaijus in the ocean? Yes. There's already one that exists, and we're probably going to change his name. His original name is Algalon. He was a creation of Sotomor the Cloaked Serpent, basically ruled the ocean. And the Wave Mother interceded and basically uncorrupted him. We have dragons as well, Sizzle. Don't worry. I have the other dragons I want to make. Make like Dog and Grace Valger, stuff like that. Being so powerful, sort of transcended. Tarask, that's right, J-Man. I want to make the Tarask cool. About some warlock patrons? I mean, you could have an icon as a warlock patron, I guess. But I would almost classify warlock patrons as part of inheritors. Inheritors are usually like demigods, saints, like very powerful jinn, things like that. Things that have some modicum of worship to them. Whereas icons are like forces of nature. They are cataclysmic events, or the shifting of tectonic plates, stuff like that. That's what I want them to be. Kaiju time. That's right, Evil Moon Thing. The one who inspired me to work on the icons to begin with. If you guys aren't part of the Discord, you should be. Evil Moon Thing posted a sick-ass set piece for a boss fight. I was super inspired by it. And I was like, I want that. I want that thing. And I point at Evil Moon Thing's awesome-looking boss, and I go, I want Godzilla in my setting. Give me. Have there been any big monster fights in History of Adis? The Tarask versus a Great Worm? I would like to. I would like to make some lore like that. All we have really so far in terms of like fighting is Grasa versus the Platinum Father. Silent Decay versus the Platinum Father. And that was the death of Thorlin, the Silver Flame. That came about as well. We need a name. Twitchy Shuckle, welcome. First time chatter. Currently what's being written is I'm working on the icon for my setting. I had a little spark of inspiration using it. Icons are primal beings, are forces of nature. Arun, the Earth. Arun, the Aludu. Pretty good. Like that. There's also another creature. Element. And also the Elder Tempest. The Elder Tempest is also an icon that I want to use. If you don't know what the Elder Tempest, a really thick ass CR23 elemental. It has like living storm. The Tempest is always in the center of a storm that is 1d6 plus 4 miles in diameter. They're so cool. The Hunger. Ooh. I think I have something that would fit that epithet. The Hunger. Okay, so which Zilla is this Tarask? The defender of humanity, defender of the plane, or perhaps the manifestation of man's sins come back to ruin it in a degree of confused existence? Ooh. The Shin Godzilla? Was that the one where it was like a super fucked up mutated version of it where it like kept constantly transforming throughout the length of the movie? Yeah. I like that one. I don't know if I want it to be that one. I don't know if I want it to be a confused existence because it's I loved its visuals. I loved when it mutated and evolved into its next form. I thought that was really cool, but I don't know if that's what I want. I feel like if it was roaming and destroying anything it walked over, not caring about things, eating when sleeping when tired, it would be the most neutral of beings. Yeah, I definitely like the idea of it being neutral. Like just, again, some sort of, it's almost like a cataclysm, right? It's not there with the sole intent of killing you, but this thing is so immense, so large and powerful that it doesn't really care about you. It's not going to go out of its way to not step on your town. It's just going to walk. It's going to go and it's going to fight whatever challenges it. It's going to go eat. rises. I lied. I lied. I lied. I forgot. Flea Mortals has an amazing section about Titan. There's one called Gozamak, which only comes about when the plane of existence is threatened. And it only awakens when it deems a threat is significant enough to potentially destroy the world. Name is Gozamak, Father of Terror. And then if he were ever to be reduced to 0 hit points, he becomes Zogomak, the Lightning Lord. Maybe we have maybe we have that. Maybe we have the Gozamak. I think that's really cool. The Oxatal do not pray to him, invoke his name, or even believe he is aware of them. They share an unshakable belief that should the land be threatened, the Terror Lord shall rise to defend the land. The Oxatal people believe Gozamak created great terror lizards that dominate their island chain. They consider these children of Gozamak to be sacred avatars of the Titan. Gozamak relies on powerful reality-bending psionics to defeat his enemy. And should his corporeal form fail, enemies find themselves face to face with Gozamak's essence, Zogomak, giant terror lizard made of living lightning. He looks cool as fuck. I want to show off this. So this is Gozamak, Terror Lord. I think it looks pretty cool. I love the whole like crystals that you can see along his body. Very sick. Like whole like crystal motif going on. Pacific Rim game win crown? Great question. It made us. We're currently working on Icon. He's a big guy. I like his name. I sort of want to change it as well. I know a good system too. It's called Lancer. So the important question, what is their human form? In Alex Strauss's style, Dami Mami? Or is this how Gabriel became canon? I don't think the primals have, like, the icons have mortal forms. I think that's explicitly like an inheritor thing. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that one. I don't know about that one yet. Thunder rumbles and lightning streaks across the sky. A collective unease takes hold, for it is said that the ancient Ozama. I was very inspired by Armored Core, so I'm working on a highly advanced civilization of religious birdfolk who use necromancy to control winged giants, and then cover them in armor and pilot them like mechs, or oaths like medieval knight. Maybe true beast forms like Zoan Devil Fruit from One Piece? I am afraid I do not know what that is. I've recently had a thought. What if I removed the ASI levels and just made it so the ASIs are based off the level general characters like Rogue 2 and Barbarian 2 boom ASI? I wonder what would be good to replace levels. Oh, that's an interesting. I'm sure there's something that would behoove you to not do that piece of job, but I don't know. I gotta remember to actually catch up on the damn campaigns from my purchase a condom. It's alright, brother. They're fucking huge games. Like 6-7 hours long. I don't expect people to sit around and watch them. Eventually, we'll get big enough that we can have editors who can like do little snippets, cut up the games and make them into viewable little chunks. That way you don't have to sit there for 7 hours watching the game. You can watch an hour long or even a 30-minute long snippet. Like a giant Giga Elk. Well, in One Piece, if you eat the fruit, you gain its power. So on Beast... Oh, that's pretty cool. You ever think of doing a TLDR recap for X episodes? Like, I considered it. I considered doing a campaign diary at some point where I sort of do a recap of all of the episodes. The issue is that I don't really know outside of streaming how to do like audio recording stuff, or even video recording stuff. But I would really like to do it. I think it'd be really cool to do like a campaign diary. It'd be a nice narration from the Duke's perspective as he watches the party, like the forefather. Ooh, that'd be pretty cool. Like a character recap. I had a lot of fun doing the recount for Mouth of the Iron Duke. So maybe. Depicted only in paintings with ruins and cavern walls. Figures have roamed the world. Around this week, you'll be able to get your hands on the stress module. That's fucking awesome, John. Thank you. I love that right now. That sounds great. So kind of enter him as a meta villain, like he has process right now. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say TOS views him as a villain yet, or even really knows of existence. They know of the hand of the Iron Duke, but I think it'd be fun. Do your voiceovers if you give me your what? Depicted only in paintings. Did only in paintings. Ancient ruin, cavern wall. Believed to be a byproduct of. Depicted only in paintings within a cavern wall. This titanic figure is believed to be a byproduct of the world's creation. On the crust of the world, as you leave the mountains without the lands or its spines pressed upon you. Lightning cracks in the skies. Depicted only in paintings within ancient ruins and cavern walls, this satanic figure is believed to be a byproduct of the crust of the world. It is believed mountains which dot the landscape are its. No one knows for certain where this creature came from. Fists. Lightning cracks and the skies darken with a storm, and it is said even the gods hold the area of. So it's the father of terrors deal. We're borrowing from entity known as Gozamak. Terror Lord slumbers under the great volcano, translated to the end of all things. He also told people of Ix believe the volcano's inevitable eruption will signal the end of this world. Look to it to determine the slumbering titans. Father of Terror is interesting. Such an interesting title to give a creature that is hailed as defender of the. Very, very interesting title. Legends and sages agree that the Titans awaken only when their homeland, people, or the entire world is threatened. Unclear what these godlike creatures view as a threat. Certainly don't seem interested in local politics, tyranny, plagues, or natural disasters. Truth, they await an existential threat powerful enough to destroy the world. Why not just say Patriarch of Fear? Cause I mean that's still just the same thing, right? But it begs the question: why call him the Father of Terror? But also herald him as a hero or a defender. I don't know. I don't think I would be very, very jazzed to have like the Father of Terror as my defender. He's neutral, right? So in a way, he's like an anti-hero. Maybe it's a name given to the fear he invokes in those he opposes. Much like how terrible used to be great or awesome. Perhaps he is so mighty it causes fear even in those who protect. I almost feel like it should be flipped. Uzumaki and Zoma. I feel like the entity should start as the lightning, and then if you defeat it and unleash its psionic power, then it becomes the father of terror. Father of Terror once held the darkness that imbibes all consciousness, forever keeping mortal and god alike for the madness. The no bulwark, no matter how mighty. Thankless eternal duty forever in the east. Or just here to his. I like that, Matus. An interesting take that he's this like mental bulwark for the world. Also, hello Legion, we're working on Icon. I'm a little spent mentally. I think your audio is dipping in and out. It probably. The issue is that I'm still very tired. I didn't get much sleep last night because my foot was hurting me. It's hurting me right now. But I figured I didn't stream at all weekend, and aside from Sunday, and I figured it would probably behoove me to stream just a little bit. And I was I just did Garasa, Silent Decay. So I figured I'd try it out again, see what I could come up with. No, we'll save this. Aside from right, put that over. Just a little little. Oh, there's so many Leviathans. There's So many Leviathans. Island. What did we call her? I know Legion had a name for her. What did we call the bear? All I heard was an interesting idea at the board. Yeah, I like the idea that they're like they've been this mental bulwark for the world. Very interesting take. Eat mother. Fluffy McMulphy. Does the Deep Mother have a cult? Is there anybody that's worshiping the Deep Mother? And are we classifying her as an elemental, or are we classifying her as an aberrant? Be amazed if it didn't. What's an aberration defined as again? Aberrations are generally things of the abyss. Sort of things like demons or creatures that are like warped or transformed against their will. Those usually become aberrant. If she had a cult, who would be worshiping her? Who's worshiping the Deep Mother? This primal bear bound to the bottom of the ocean, deep within the darkness. Hi, new here. The EVD or the VD, welcome. First time. Are the episodes how you track and prepare for each session? Yes. I have a catalog of all of my episodes, and I name them mostly because I can. It's very easy to just leave them as a number, but I like giving them little. And then I'll go through and I'll fill out my lore, my write-up, and then some potential encounters or party encounters and stuff like that. Okay. I can see druids worshiping her. Do we have a cult of druids, like a circle of druids that worship her? So an underwater bear god? I'd say an aberration. I mean, we can classify her as an aberration. As far as an circle of the deep type deal. Actually, hold on. Let's do Circle of the Deep. That's her cult. She has a cult of druids that worship the Deep Mother. Perhaps even a dark druidic circle, the kind who do the dark pagan rituals Catholics used to accuse the old Celtic pagans of doing. Yeah, I'm all for that. I'm all for them like doing like ritualistic drowning. Like, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Underwater bear just reminds me of that one SpongeBob episode. I'm gonna go to bed. With luck, I can iron out the last of the module bugs tomorrow. Crown, would it be okay if I sent you a DM on Discord tomorrow? Ask you questions or module, please do, brother. I will say you might not get an immediate response, because I'll probably be eeping. But yeah, dude, ask your questions. Love to answer them. You're going above and beyond. I mean, this is just an insane amount of generosity making this. So thank you so much. Are we making her neutral? Making her evil? Making her good? I'm leaning neutral. Despite her being an aberrant, I believe we discussed her whole thing as like just a love for her children. A love for the bears. And it was the fear of the Aranar and stuff like that that basically locked her away. Just like Lashara. Rest well, John. Future, huh? What does one do to show worship? So I think with her, I think it's an unfortunate situation for the Deep. Deep Mother doesn't want worship. She only wants her children to be safe. The way that she would sort of try to get these followers to do that is by paying a lot of respect for like protecting bears. So I imagine like the Circle of the Deep, they sort of tend to and care for bears in the wilderness, like protecting like natural streams and rivers for salmon and that sort of swim up and sort of protect those bears from like poachers and other evil entities who would harm them. But also, I imagine that much like any religion or any form of worship, it often is misconstrued or misunderstood. So for them, it's a lot of this trying to commune with the Deep Mother. And they believe that ways of doing that is like ritualistic drowning. So like they'll sacrifice people by drowning them to the Deep Mother. Issues with dams and industrial waste. Yeah, so like they'd go out of their way if a town, for example, was polluting the water of a stream, then the Circle of the Deep would come and they would destroy the water wheel or whatever was polluting the water, or go so far as to destroy the town type deal. If it meant protecting the river which was feeding the bears. I'd almost say lawful evil. Care for her children is great, but the love seems only to be for her children. Spite and malice towards the other gods could manifest antagonism. Thoughts? If you want more of a neutral mood, you could have them strongly in favor of water burials as sacrifice. Ooh, see, I like the idea of her being neutral and having a sort of evil-leaning cult that worships her, because she is this like eldritch entity, right? I love the idea of there being this neutral eldritch creation whose followers lean heavily into more evil practices of their faith. So to them, like the idea of dying on land would be considered like a sin. But I love the idea of them being like, we are sparing you a terrible fate by drowning you. I actually really like the idea of a troubled god whose children misinterpret her. Like how exoterrorists have good intentions but just hurt people in the process. Yeah, exactly. Eco-terrorists going to the extreme, you know, blowing up some dam because it's fucking with, you know, local pollution, but also in that same vein, blowing up that dam, you know, destroys the the power supply for the nearby towns, and people are sent into darkness. Like how you get baptized in lakes before. They try to toe the line and getting drowned and then getting revived afterwards, are fully inducted into the cult. Yeah, I like that. I assume these druid cultists are going to be pretty cut and wet races then. Tritons, maybe? Tritons work. I'm imagining a lot of Sahagin, Tritons, merfolk. Oh, excuse me. Even humans. Like I could see the Deep Mother cult, the Circle of the Deep, being something you'd see on like coast cities, coast towns. You have to be within one alignment step of your deity, right? So a lawful neutral god could have a lawful evil worshiper. I can see it being a cult that some sailors would adopt too. Yeah. So the goddess herself is all about don't mess with the food chain and such. However, the largest following is more aggressive. Luddite. I'm afraid I don't know what a Luddite is. Or a Luddite. Yeah, I really like the idea of her being a very caring, like, entity to her children, which are bears and bear-like creatures. But this cult, this Circle of the Deep, has adopted her as like their patron and are performing these spell rituals and this sort of misinterpretation of her teachings to like not only protect bears, but to go even further, to take a step further and start like harming other creatures to fully protect bears. What does she provide to the seas that make people want to worship her? Yeah, it would be the bounties of the ocean. It would be like the presence of the tide. Now, understand that she's not like an actual goddess, right? She's not like the Wave Mother, whose whole domain is actually the oceans and the seas. She's more so like a force of nature within the ocean. So it would be like you worship her and her currents are like she controls the currents and pushes certain, the bounties of the ocean to you, bounties of the river. People who were smashing looms and technology during the Industrial Revolution, dressing up. It said all the point. Yeah. I could see a sailor worshiping or giving praise or even respects to the Deep Mother. Not a nature god either, but the cult has catapulted the Deep Mother to position of nature deity. I'd say so, yeah. I'd say it'd almost be a lesser nature deity, right? Like the icons are very powerful creatures. They're meant to be. They're meant to be forces of nature. But I almost like the idea of a cult worshiping an entity so much that they slowly gain more power than they should have started with. And that allows her to do a lot more for her children. She's bound within like a nature demigod. Yeah, that's a good one. I see her being more of a being you placate rather than worship. Yeah, I'd see a lot of sailors trying to appease or placate. Where like you go out to sea and you worship the Wave Mother, you pay respects to the Wave Mother, but you also pay homage to the deep. You know that sure, the shallows of the ocean and everything like that has the chance of the wave mother protecting you, guiding you back, but it's the depths. It's that inky black abyss, the ocean that you know is where the deep mother resides. And you can only hope that should you fall overboard, that one of those two, the wave mother or the deep mother, are the one that ferry you back to land. I really like Good Harvest for fishermen. Like, you can almost see a silhouette of hers pushing forth great swaths of life. Yeah, I like that too. Like a king without a kingdom, what is a god without belief? Yeah. I think it could be really neat. I thought the prime offering she would want salmon. You give offerings to the wave lady so she carries you to shore. You give an offering to the deep mother so she pull you to the depths. Aside from the mainstream coastal stuff, she has a widespread cult that does eco-terror. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. The only difference between a yokai and a kami is one is worshipped and one. Gargantuan bear is shown only through effigies carved and hewn along the shoreline. I think Inkley mentioned before carved seashells being left on shallow shores or coasts. Think about it. The bear first to the bottom of the seas. Shaman do not exist. Someone brought the very food that bears thrive on to the vast oceans. Ever Ooh, putting a seashell to your instead of hearing the ocean, followers may believe the deep mother speaks. Like that. Common. Common. He's so powerful. Carved seashells do fit nicely with sailors crafting stuff in their idle time, whittling and scrimshaw and such. I'm having one of those days where I woke up but never really woke up, keep you tired. Dude, I feel that in very soul. Shown only through carved and hewn effigies, the Deep Mother's more common depiction is that of a dark-furred bear. Numerous eyes adorned her features, claws so powerful they could carve new islands from the continent, teeth so strong they could break the hulls of ships with ease. Oh, well. Circle. Get her on production. Sure you don't want to grab a coffee or some other stimulants? I don't think it's going to do anything. Sort of just channeling whatever energy I have and seeing how long I can last. Shown only through carved and hewn effigies, the mother's more common depiction is that of a dark-furred bear. Numerous eyes adorn her features. Claws so powerful they could carve new islands from the continent. Teeth so strong they could break the hulls of ships with them. Jaws mighty enough to split a ship. No one alive has ever seen the Deep Mother, yet members of the Circle claim to see her upon their induction to the cult. They are drowned at sea and brought back before their soul could be claimed by the very abyss which holds her. Members report the immense size of the Deep, only desires to protect her children. Others claim she possesses numerous tendrils and tentacles that writhe and sway in the currents of the Is it possible she has some association with fur seals and sea? They're reasonably closely related to bears. Sure one. Since there's an underwater bear god, is there an equivalent weird thing like a skyfish? I haven't, that wasn't something we'd ever talked about, but sure, it's something we could work on. I think I have a sky snake. Oh, sky whale. Bismarck. Yeah, we can make a Bismarck. Yeah, let's make a sky whale. Let's make a Bismarck. Easy. Lord of the Mists. Cloud god. Name has good. Name has long since been lost in all history. Fate is known by many sailors and druids who call doors and here her bound bottom. Oh, desperate to hold on. R. There's a sky whale. If it's a god, could be associated with mirrors or reflections. Reflection of the whales in the, or perhaps all whales are a reflection of it. Name has long since been lost to the annals of history. Fate is known by many sailors and druids who call shores and oceans home. Strained by ancient fetters made by the Aranar, their fear of the Deep Mother saw her bound and dragged to the bottom of the ocean. Her claws, desperate to hold on to the earth carved great rivers and streams. One final gift for her children. Or to make Bismarck want to eat Sky Islands? Absolutely. You just be crunching on them. You're making the whole Sky Whale Bismarck. Maybe you could make a story about how the gods of these respective domains had a clash in the past, and that resolution to fix it was they made a champion for each other, keep the balance between one another to ensure it would never happen again. Pandemonium ensue. I could see Bismarck being a creation, whereas the Deep Mother was made, like, it basically came about by like influences of like extra planar things. I can see Bismarck being a thing that was made, like Algalon. I could see that. Long as she sought freedom from her watery prison, seeking nothing more than to see her children prosper. She waits. To one day slip her chains and return to her children's. He's like the inverse of a normal whale. Perhaps he has to swim down to the surface to the ocean. Ooh, that's pretty cool. For a being that's lived since the Wizard Kings fought against the gods? And I've gotten all in my head about the balance of nature and how the whole yin and yang symbol, black and white. Those two creatures present the dots on. Interesting take. Would Bismarck be an aberrant? Celestial. Could you get spells via Bismarck? Isn't there a Fathom Warlock? Okay, so you could be a Warlock of the Deep. Could you get spells from? I mean, technically you'd be able to get spells from Bismarck if he was your patron. I could see it being very limited. It wouldn't be like a normal patron, if that makes sense. It would sort of be you manifesting your own powers with them as like a backdrop. Like them giving you a touch of magic. A small connection to the primeval current where your own presence manipulates it. So Bismarck would be the same way. He'd give you like call lightning like lightning bolt and stuff like that, right? Or like the Deep Mother gives you like arms of Hadar, you know, hunger of Hadar and stuff like that. I could even see like Garasa, like worshiping the Silent Decay gives you like Cloud Kill and like Finger of Death and stuff like that. So I can see that each of these icons could give you something. You wouldn't get the full kit like worshiping a god would, but you would get something for worshiping an icon. In fact, I would say, depending on your level of worship with an icon, could even potentially allow you to do some like Final Fantasy 16 shit. Like if you are such a devout worshiper of like the Deep Mother, like you could have potentially invoke her power toward the point where you could assume an avatar like state of the Deep Mother. You could assume an avatar like state of Bismarck. Right, so Warlock, but not Cleric. I could see Warlock. I could see Sorcerer. I could see Cleric. I could see Cleric, actually. Because I think even as a Paladin or a Cleric, excuse me, you don't need a god fully, if that makes sense. You just need something that's strong enough to manipulate the current to bestow you magic. At that point, it's just a Celestial Warlock. Yeah, but I think you could be fervent enough in your worship to these icons that they would bestow upon you a power to assume some level of strength in their name. Binders connected to something called vestiges, which are like mini gods or ghosts of great people and stuff like that. You get powers based on whoever they currently have bound. That's pretty dope. So you had to deal with personality changes in other songs. I do like that. I think that's pretty neat. Yeah, I really like the idea of you being a druid and worshiping the Deep Mother, and eventually at like high enough level, the Deep Mother bestows upon you this mote of power, and you activate it. You become like an avatar of the Deep Mother. You assume this, yeah, I guess you take on like the vestige. Yeah, Oath of the Crown exists. You don't need a god or to be a paladin, just a strong enough source of conviction. Exactly. I think you could be the normal worshipping like classes, like cleric or paladin, worship an icon, or be influenced by an icon, like a special wild shape. I think that'd be really sick. I also really like the idea, because it's always, again, this is always something I really liked about Final Fantasy's Primal, is that they temper you. So like the Deep Mother tempers a bunch of sailors and they worship her type deal. It's the influence of this icon that's basically so strong, so overwhelming that your sense of being is sort of taken over by them. I'd love the idea of a paladin who's been tempered by Bismarck, who had some interaction with Bismarck at some point in their life and has been tempered by them. Yeah, like you can refluff things too, like arms of Bismarck's arms of Hadar look like tendrils of storm clouds, for instance. Exactly. I really like the idea of icons having that influence beyond like normal gods, right? Where like normal gods sort of have their own presence that they can rely on. Like, you know, when you can feel the presence of a god, you would meet a god and would know it. But I love the idea of meeting these entities, these otherworldly figures that are sort of existing within the realm. They temper you. They influence you in some way. So being a young knight, crossing paths with Bismarck, forever changes or alters you in some way. You become tempered by Bismarck. I feel like Bismarck should give access to dissonant whispers. I mean, it'd be really cool. They leave an impression upon your very soul. Yeah, I think so too. What do you think of the last celestial title for Bismarck? I imagine if he was a creation of the divine, it would be in right near the end of the Age of Woe. Near the end or after the Age of Woe? Oh, interesting. After the Age of Woe. Like Bismarck's the last angel they made? Yeah, I almost viewed him as a very early creation. Same, I very much agree, Agate. Interest. So the issue there is that I've made new celestials post Age of Woe. But I like your idea. Maybe we could save the last celestial for something else. Like the actual genuine last celestial. But I definitely like the idea that Bismarck's been around for a while. You can go the route of these beings are as primeval gets, hence the odd placement where they are. Ooh, like Shelob, like the primordial spider type deal. Some of those could go be other shadows in the void, like the could be an honorific title, perhaps the final creation of the Allfather himself before he disappeared, thus making him the last true celestial. Ooh, I like that. I don't know if I like that for Bismarck, but I do like the idea of there being one of these icons, like the last true creation of the Allfather. I do like that. I'm gonna go get some more water. Hobble my way upstairs. It's gonna take a hot minute because my foot's still killing me. But I'll be back. I like this train of thought we got going. I am back. Apologies for that. That was a more arduous journey than originally. You want to tell me what happened with the Allfather? The Allfather vanished. After the Wizard Kings and their armies marched on the high seat and ascended into the heavenly realms to fight the gods, the Allfather eventually struck down the invading armies, shattered the high seat, split the world into various continents, and basically sundered the planet, casting it into darkness. And after that, he basically was never seen again. Even his own children, as shown in DOA and SOE, with Athun admitting to Oberon, her champion, that she does not know where the Allfather is. He has been missing for hundreds of years. Ooh, I like your idea, Metis.
I sort of already have something like that.
I like where your mind went, though. Okay, so what was his purpose? If he was made by the Allfather, what purpose did Bismarck serve? Watcher in his way. That's a lot of responsibility for an icon. Keep the skies clear. Well, we've got a lot of dragons already. I kind of like the idea that this way back, Allfather hadn't created any of the mortal races. Fair enough, just spitballing from an outsider perspective. Yeah, nothing shameful about it, brother. Found the elemental plane of in the ways Bismarck becomes like a pet to him. What if Bismarck is not the last, but the first combination of different elements? A rationale, last celestial being, the sky whale, something that's probably viewed as a silly, useless creature. From his domain of the skies can he keep vigil over the lands, but due to only being an icon, seemingly unable to effectively carry out those duties. Wrath whips up storms, but not a formidable creature. Hello, Skullthrone. Wait, I got it. You know how the whales have those brush-like teeth to filter plankton and krill as food, right? Maybe it acts as like a filter feeder for outside chaotic influence to slowly break into reality. Which a smaller scale to keep things getting at it. I see we're going for Hill. I'd kind of take the opposite. Bismarck is one of the first non-divine beings. The eldest mortal living thing. Okay, so hold on. God, what's the cow? Oh, fuck. What's the cow in Norse mythology that Ymir that licked the ice off of Ymir? Thumala. What if? What if, as Ymir floated through the abyss, or floated through the void, where the primordial elements basically met, and he was one of the first beings? What if through those primordial elements were some of the first beings born? So Bismarck would be one of the first, I guess, like Agatine said, like the first non-divine being. Just something so primordial that they've existed for so long. I like the idea for primordial beings like that they never really die. Like, I imagine he's died. I imagine Bismarck has been killed. I imagine he's been killed, but just like the primals in 14, they keep getting summoned back. And this is like some 100th iteration of Bismarck. Is the current form that we have now, where he's smaller, he fits within the realm. Got eaten by one of my Lormanier's worms. Yeah, I mean, exactly, right? Like, this being is so ancient that they've died probably thousands, millions of times. And like, basically through the powers of the current and their own primordial nature, they just sort of return. And eventually through worship of their followers, like people that worship Bismarck, would summon back a lesser version. Like, each version is weaker and weaker. What about a divine tortoise for earth and a phoenix for fire? So I see what you're getting at. We need to come up with an actual primordial for like water, because the deep mother isn't the primordial of water. The deep mother is a powerful icon that basically the gods feared and they locked her away. Because I want, okay, so this is how I wanted to break it down. Right, hold on. I want there to be like elements, right? I want there to be like the Elder Tempest, which is an icon. But I also want there to be like a primordial air creature. So the primordial is the strongest of the air icon, right? But the Elder Tempest is a really powerful air icon. Yes, I think we need to narrow down what Bismarck does. Are we going for the 4 guardian beasts of Chinese mythos? Isn't that like the black tortoise, the white tiger? Like, what was it? Red dragon? Red vermilion bird. And green azure dragon. Been a while. Bismarck would be the primal tempest. If they're a blend of elements rather than the prime of one, Bismarck is air and water. Be something else that higher. That could work. Bismarck himself, I'd say, but perhaps part of his role is containing the primordial air beast. Big old Giga Rock. Hear me out for a primordial air creature. Fighter. Spider can quite literally parachute across huge distances effortlessly, even sometimes crossing oceans. Plus, it accounts for the shapes of cirrus clouds, strands of web, cumulus clouds, and prey caught in the web. Column nimbus clouds. Still living, but prey still threatened. Yeah, I like your idea. We already sort of used the primordial spider, and that's the one that talked to Lashara. That's the one who made Lashara into RNA, the primeval weaver. So we've already used a spider motif as a primordial creature, like the primordial spider. Perhaps something seemingly innocent or innocuous. A whale is a large, lumbering, gentle creature. Perhaps he's like the Lord of Clouds. But even if big, fluffy white clouds are nice to see on a summer day, his fury can create dark skies and violent storms, washing away crops or even. The elements were pure and chaotic. Bismarck and others were the first time they make something together. Lord of the Cloud. Hold on, let me grab type. Whale song could also be perceived as thunder to mortals. Feel like that. Here's the point. Do we classify him as an aberrant, a celestial, or an elemental? Because I classify primordials, things like Shelob, as an aberrant. It's not made of the element, not an elemental. We're going into Prince's element style, and not being elemental feels a little weird. I finished the stat block for my boss fight. I'm so pumped. Hell yeah. Meaning elemental, but I could see. Sidebar for proposed tortoise. How about Orgrin the slumbering? Okay, finish this. It'd be like 70% water. Board of. That's what classify him as an. This is subject. Fuck. Do I want him? Fuck. Trying to really trying to figure it out. Really trying to weigh everything in my head right now. I want him to be hated. I want him to have What are you weighing? I'm weighing if I want him to have existed already, if he was created, something in between. You know what's interesting? In terms of Final Fantasy 14, Garuda and Bismarck have a lot of overlap. Construct like a warforged whale? What about something like a primordial stone golem? Held together by vines, roots, and other natural growths. He lives among sky islands. Himself is a sky island. Ooh. Yeah, I like that idea, I just don't think it fits. I think it's a really neat idea, but I think that go for something else. These have all been a ton of really good ideas. I think what's happening right now is that my brain is too tired. I'm trying to process everything. I don't think it's working. Too many potentials in the air. Make one or two bold decisions. Possibility. I guess the crux of the question is, what is Bismarck made of? Big fuck off whale, or a whale shaped something else? I want to say it's a whale-shaped something else. Personally, I like the idea of Bismarck being the night sky. Stars or barnacles that grow on it. That's a really cool aesthetic. I think that clashes too much with Samira, the Lady of Silver, though. Could always swap, and instead of fleshing out details, we can make a list. That wouldn't be too bad. See what we can do. What do you guys think of Ifrit? Can't win. Sorry, I made this. Ifrit is the Lord of the Inferno. Yeah, Final Fantasy 1. That's where a lot of these icons are from. Like, even the name Icon I took from Final Fantasy 14. But the Garlean Empire refers to as the primal icon. Well, it's not just. It wouldn't just be. It wouldn't just be elemental. Colin. It would also be like the primordial spider. The primordial serpent. I would classify those as icons. What do you think about a locust fire primordial beast? Locust fire primordial. Interesting. Generally, when I think of fire, I don't think of bugs. That's a very interesting take on it. Huh. Quasi-deity. Yeah. I think that's the Faerunian term, is quasi-deity. Locust fire prey. I don't think I've seen much in the way of firebug. I partially like fire bees. Fire bees are very cute. Think about it. Locust swarms raise any and all vegetation. Living plant matter. Nothing. Wings fan the flame. Chirping is crackling. Interesting. Huh. Tracks to me, locusts have an insatiable hunger. Incredibly destructive. They're almost small as krill for certain rain whale. You should watch a video of a time lapse of a field getting swarmed by locusts. Insane. I've never seen it. That sounds genuinely terrifying in agriculture. I do like the idea that the fire icon exists distributed. You'd have one in Sufficiently reinforced jar. They start swarming, things get dangerous fast. They may not be allowed out of the plane of fire. That's... Ah. Another point of locusts, they evolve those wings and to curb the population, they turn cannibalistic. And so our wildfires get too out of control and the planet isn't... Don't get too out of control and the planet isn't a fireball. Water is a lobster, clearly. Yeah, the lobster that snipes you. Out of Rhea Lucaria. I like something for water and earth that also doesn't feel obvious like the sky whale. I mean, sometimes there's nothing wrong with the obvious. Like, sometimes it's okay to be a little obvious. What about a frog that jumps at earthquakes? The only way to get rid of locust swarm is to starve them. Don't they eat everything? I feel like you'll be waiting for a hot minute for I would put the sky whale as something else, but perhaps Earth could have a tree or a mushroom. Earth serpent could also work, snaking along ridges or fault lines. Giant mushroom men and Earth. Those dudes that just one punch you, I think. Dark Souls 1? Sparrows will control locusts a bit if you don't, start an extermination campaign. I mean, I know insects might be done to death, but I think ants for Earth would make sense. They literally make mountains in the equivalence to the size. You're stroking for thinking power, my lord. I have no thinking power left. This is mostly me just talking. The final vestiges of my life fading away as I talk to you guys. Because I am fucking exhausted.
My body is tired. I feel myself slipping. Very eepy. I got like way more eepy than I thought I would.
Yeah, this is mostly me just holding on. I do like the motif for the insects. I think it's a very neat idea. I don't think I've ever seen it explored that way. I love the idea of there being like locust fire element that can just ravage other planes of existence. Like, that's a very unique take on fire that I don't think I've ever seen. Just imagine a swarm of fire locusts basically being unleashed onto a different plane of existence and just ravages. It's inspired by one of my many fucked up. I think the Earth primordial should be more grounded. What do you have in mind, Hale? You don't want to take a nap? I probably am going to take it. This is probably... We're going to call it here soon. Just for my own sake, I get some leap. So you were just making a pun? That's fine, I guess. Cat or a raccoon or something? Trilobite? What's Trilobite again? Isn't that the giant, like, walking shell? Isn't that a trilobite? Like, basically the thing that hasn't evolved for millions of years. Yeah, horseshoe crab. Isn't that it? Isn't that what a trilobite is? No? Oh god. I thought I was big brained. Hold on, let me look up if I can try that bite. Try that. Oh, wait a minute. What the fuck? They look similar. I guess a trilobite looks more akin to like a cockroach. Or a horseshoe crab has like 3 segmented pieces. Fucking trilobite looks like a goddamn cockroach. Horseshoe crabs have very useful blood, which is why we abduct them and drain them.
What? Huh? Explain, Agatine. What the fuck does that mean? What are you doing out here just abducting horseshoe crabs? That's not cool. They're just little guys.
The fuck?
Used to test for certain bacteria. Their blood reacts to things like ours. We harvest their blood for bacteria. What the fuck? Humans are... Abduct you from your ocean home. I'm gonna use you in my lab now. Wow. Doing bloodborne shit to horseshoe crabs. Fear the blood. Yeah.
So we abduct them on large scale, drain some blood, and throw them back. Hyenas are cats fulfilling the dog role. Same way some vanilla extract is made from a beaver's musk gland.
I beg your fucking pardon. You wanna run that by me one more time? Wanna just play that one back for me, Chief? A little bit more concise for my tired, sleepy brain.
Aren't like Skittles and M&Ms and stuff? Isn't the crunchy outside, isn't that made from like bugs? Like the chitinous material found on like beetles and shit like that? Isn't that what that's made out of? Or I make that up in a fever dream? A beaver, huh? Red 40 is, yes, some red dye is made from certain beetle shells. Humans are wild. We make coffee from animal poop.
Alright, that's enough for today. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna keep eating Skittles, though. Skittles are pretty... even if they are made of bone. Agatine, that doesn't make it any better. Just because the cat is good at picking coffee doesn't mean that you... No. No. No, no, no.
That's fucking awful. People, why? It's the most expensive coffee in the world. Oh, oh, baby. Oh, baby. You know what? We're gonna hit the save. Roll on down, make sure. Very cool. Close that. Close that. What if the Earth icon was a giant Titan beetle or rhino bug? Again, it'd be pretty cool. I think it should be something other than just giant rock. I think it should be like a cool animal or beast or something like that. I don't want it to just be rock-shaped humanoid. I want it to be like a beastie. I want like a Byakko type. I think that'd be pretty cool. Obviously, Byakko's not a fucking earth elemental. You know, I want an animal creature for icons. Centipede? No, 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 no.
No. No centipedes. Smile.
We'll figure it out when I fucking get my brain back in order. That's gonna be it for me today, guys. Sorry for the incredibly short stream. I'm just very tired. I'm hoping that I'm so tired that I can just sleep through the pain of my leg and be a-okay. So I'm gonna sleep. It's always a pleasure. Trying to call the brain technician. So yeah, I hope that you guys have a fantastic night. Join the Discord if you're not. I'm going to be posting more updates and stuff in DM Showcase. By the way, patrons, my lovely, beautiful, gorgeous, flawless patrons. For your tier 3 patrons out there, we just released the Death's Door mechanic last night. So if you wanted to get your hands on the dying condition that we use here in our games, so your players can stay in the fight and not, you know, waste 30 minutes only to get to their turn to roll a death save and then do nothing else. You can use that. And I even included some homebrew adjustment rolls at the bottom for things like Spare the Dying and Lay on Hands, and other certain subclass features like Zealot Barbarian and Samurai Fighter. So if you're interested in anything like that, why not go consider looking at the Patreon and get your hands on the Death's Door mechanic today. Or maybe, just maybe, like the rest of my patrons, you want to get your hands on some gorgeous incarnate maps made by yours truly. Don't worry. We just released the August map pack. It's the Forest Encounters map pack. It's 5 forest maps of various sizes for you to use in your VTTs to challenge your players. Some are big, open, sprawling maps that you'll have to traverse multiple rounds to get to the end of. And others are more located or localized fight encounter maps with like a single road or a sort of single point of interest, while the other maps are larger maps with smaller points. So if that interests you at all, why not consider checking out the Patreon? And of course, all of your support allows me to continue doing the thing that I love, which is this. And if you're new here, hello, welcome. You've met me. I'm the sleepy DM. I'm a 5th edition dungeon master who runs games in his own homebrew setting, the world of Adis. What you just saw is World Building Wednesday. It's one of our staple streams where we do pretty much anything. We do magic items, monsters, supplements, systems, all that fun. So if that interests you, consider sticking around because we have a game coming up this Friday. It'll come with the fall. It's episode 71. And if that's too far into the game for you, don't worry. We have another game on Sunday called Tales of Sunfall. And that one's only on episode 14 right now. And it's currently Darkest Dungeon inspired. Well, Darkest Dungeon adjacent. It has some inspiration from Darkest Dungeon, but not a lot. We're still leaning into the D&D. Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna eat below. I hope that you all have a fantastic night. I hope you take care of yourselves. Hug your loved ones. Tell them that you love them. And I will see you guys later. Bye, Chad.